What's up guys, Knife Fanatic here. Hope all of y'all are having an amazing day as always. Today we're going to be looking at a knife from a company called Kexmo. I hope I'm saying that right, but they reached out to me and asked if I wanted to feature a knife on my YouTube channel, and I said yeah. So we're going to go ahead and check it out. I'm still going to give it my honest thoughts and opinions on it. Let's go ahead and not show this receipt there with my information on it. Got some packing paper there and the knife. So yeah, Kexmo, made in China. And here's the knife. Wow, it's pretty oily, so let me go ahead and grab a rag here and wipe her down. Let's see. All right. So first things that I want to kind of make notice of is that it's a fairly heavy knife. I'm sure that these bolsters here are probably steel. Let's go ahead and check that real quick. Yep. So we got some steel bolsters there, flipper tab with some thumb studs, some rosewood overlays here on the steel frame, and then a glass breaker there. Now I do want to mention before we really start ripping into this is that this knife is $9.99. Okay, this is a budget, minded knife, so you can't really, nitpick a whole lot for 10 bucks. But yeah, I just wanted to, throw that out there and make sure that everyone's aware that this knife is $10. So yeah, so I just wanted to make that known. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So we'll go ahead and open her up. Let's go ahead and wipe off this blade here a little bit. So the blade steel is, let's see, 3CR13, which is a new steel to me. I did read up on it a little bit. I've never had a knife in this type of steel before, but from what I've gathered is that it's a Chinese steel, a very budget or cheap, if you will, type of steel. The 13 in 3CR13 stands for 13%-ish chromium. So that gives it a stainless property. So this is a stainless steel. Let's see, the edge retention is pretty bad from what I read on 3CR13, but it does have good toughness and hardness. Ease of sharpening is pretty good, but it really lacks in edge retention. They're claiming that this has an HRC of I believe it was 56. Yeah, 56 to 59. So that's going to give it a little bit better of edge retention. I believe the range for 3CR13 from what I've read is about 50 to 58. So that 56 to 59 HRC from what they're claiming is going to give it a little bit better of edge retention. So toughness is okay, hardness is okay, but it really lacks in edge retention. So that's why I think the HRC for what they're claiming to be from 56 to 59 is going to give it a little bit better of edge retention. So we have a nice simple drop point blade here, very looks ergonomic. So let's go ahead and kind of give it a little ergonomic test here, see how it feels in the hand. Yeah, it feels okay. I really kind of like how it feels back here. Not bad. Do have some jimping here on the spine of the blade, just a tad bit, kind of a ramp there. So yeah, not too bad. We do have a fuller here with some hole cutouts in the blade, just to kind of give it that tactical look, I guess. On the other side, it doesn't have the fuller, just the holes. So I'm not sure why they didn't do that to both sides. Fairly average blade stock thickness, is not too thin or too thick. Pretty standard, I'd say. The sharpness definitely feels pretty good. The sharpening, choil, and plunge grind is basically non-existent. So this is claiming that it has a deep carry pocket clip. Let's go ahead and kind of check that out. So to me, a deep carry pocket clip would look something like this, where pretty much almost the entire knife is buried inside of your pocket. This is another example here. This is the CGRB Pyrite. This is a deep carry pocket clip. This is a deep carry pocket clip. This, you're gonna have that much knife sticking out. To me, that's not a deep carry pocket clip. Plus, it only has this one mounting option for the pocket clip, which is tip down. I'm not a fan, personally, of tip down carry. I like to have tip up carry, but on this knife, there are no other options besides this tip down carry. The edges, well, really on this rosewood inlay or overlay, there's not much, like the edges aren't that rough, so I'm not really concerned about that. They're okay. They're not contoured or anything. They're just kind of shaped off. It's like a straight cut. There's no really rough edges anywhere else on the knife. Maybe that pocket clip right there. Not a really huge fan of the glass breaker either. Let's see what else. There's no internal milling. It does look like it's pretty centered there. Oh, I think this glass breaker is actually screwed in. Okay. Yeah, because I can see threads right there. So it might just be Loctited in there. The thumb studs are a little bit on the small side, but nothing crazy. I mean, let's see if we compare. Yeah, just a tad smaller than the Pyrite there, looks like, the diameter. This is running is it? It feels like it might be washers. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's running on washers. Let me just double check here 1 second. So I might be right. I think it is washers. Definitely doesn't feel like bearings, but the action. Wow, we're gonna get to this lock bar there in a second, but it does feel assisted for some reason. Yeah, because I can definitely feel. Yeah, so this is an assisted knife. There's definitely a spring in there, or coil, winding that tension up, and then wow. Okay, so the thumb studs are pretty hard to get, and I'm really trying not to bash this knife a whole lot, because I mean it is only $10, but God, these the detent for the thumb studs it's pretty rough. It's a stout detent for those thumb studs. All right, let's move on to the lock bar here. So we do have some jimping there, and it does stick out a little bit for ease of access. Lock up, let's see. I'd say we're about 30% lockup there. And the lock bar isn't the most comfortable thing in the world. Blade play. Oh, that's actually really solid. No play side to side or up and down, so that's good. No blade play. Right on. But the detent, I don't know, it's weird, like even though it's assisted, I think it might just need to be broken in, but the only thing that I would really use on this knife would be the flipper. And then speaking of the flipper, there's like no jimping at all on the flipper. It's just a very smooth coating over that flipper, whatever type of black paint that they use, I'm not sure. But if you want a knife that you can just beat the absolute crap out of and not care, I mean, I would say this is good for that. For 10 bucks, you can't go wrong. You probably will have to be sharpening this knife pretty frequently, is what my guess would be. but since they do have it at a higher HRC, it will help out with that edge retention. Let's go ahead and get a weight on this guy. I'm gonna say it's coming in at like 5.2 ounces. I'm gonna say 5.5. Wow, 5.9, almost a 6-ounce knife. That's pretty dang heavy. Let's get a measurement on this. So overall, with that glass breaker there, it's coming in at, it looks like around 8.5 inches with a cutting edge of about 3.5 there. So it's a pretty long knife. And with having to probably sharpen it a fair amount, you will start to get a smile back here because there's no sharpening choil. So, but if you're buying this to beat the hell out of, I don't think you're really gonna care about a smile. But yeah, guys, this would definitely be a good knife to just have and really abuse if you're doing a lot of hard and dirty work. We do have, let's see, T6, I want to say. Yeah, T6 construction for all the hardware, the body screws, and possibly T8 for the pivots, which is not non-captive, is what it looks like to me. Yeah, guys, I'll link this down in the description if you want to go check it out and buy one. The company, again, is Kexmo. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. As always, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one. Knife Fanatic out.